Hey everyone, and welcome to Heart of Indie Radio tonight. We are so excited because we have an exclusive interview with Rye Wolf right here in our studio. Now, Rye is super talented. I actually came across his song Diamonds on Twitter, and I was like, this guy's amazing. And he was kind enough to say that he would come and hang out with us tonight and chat about all things music. So please welcome Rye. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me. Really excited to be here.
Yes, well, we're excited to have you. And I'd love for our listeners just to get an idea of who you are, how you started in music, just and what you've been up to in the last little while.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. It really has. I started after college, and that was around anywhere from 2002 to 2005. I was actually touring the United States, playing colleges all over the country, playing venues everywhere, and recording music, and was really I was going at it really hard and trying to make a name for myself. And but at the time, social media didn't exist like it does now, and so it was much harder to get the word out. And although I feel like I did a pretty good job, and actually I still got some fans today from that time period. Um, but eventually I just got to a point where I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to focus on a career, or and maybe leave music behind and really try to make some money, because I wasn't making a lot of money, and I just didn't know if it was going to go anywhere. So I kind of put it on the back burner. 2006, 2007, started to focus more on a career, and so I kind of hung things up, and although I was writing and playing some, I wasn't really doing it seriously. And then the pandemic hit, and I think for a lot of us, we were just kind of sitting here like, okay, what do we do now? And it shut my operation down with my career, and so I had time on my hands, and I started picking up the guitar again, and just had this like renewed passion and this renewed voice, um and I had a lot to say. And so I just started writing, and I just made the decision in late 2020 that I was going to go ahead and release some material and just see what happens. And so I did, and slowly started to gain some momentum, and then got with the Twitter community online, the indie artist community on Twitter online, and man, it just took off way faster than I thought it would, and it's just been a really great experience. And but it has been a long journey, and that's a little bit of my journey, I guess.
That's awesome. And I love how the progression of, college, band, touring, the discipline and focus that you had to have in those days as well in terms of getting the word out, because it wasn't like social media now.
It was
And
tough.
then
It was tough.
and then doing your career, that changing, and then back to music. And I feel like it really is your true calling. When I heard your voice for the very first time, I was really struck by the texture of your voice and also your songwriting style. Do you have a particular way that you kind of process, lyrics and melodies? Is it, do you carry around like a notebook with ideas? Does it just come to you in the middle of the night? I just am so curious.
All of the above, I would say. Now I write a lot on my phone, and usually I start with melody, honestly, or I have an idea of a song, like the direction I want to go with the song. Say whether it be more of like a bluesy type song, or maybe like a singer-songwriter type vibe. But I have something that I know I want to say, and it's really just voicing that, those lyrics and that thought. And so a lot of times I'll start with the melody, and I'll get my phone out and I'll do a voice memo, and I'll record that melody, and that way it sticks in my head and I can remember it, and I'll come back to it. It's really a pretty long process, to be honest. I'm not one of those songwriters that just I can pop out a song in a day or whatever, but I walk away from it, and then I'll come back to it and make sure it's exactly what I want, and I do that a few times, just to make sure that it really is it's really saying what I want it to say. So, but yeah, I start with melody, and then I kind of work the lyrics and the intricacies and the details of the lyrics into that melody, and that's really how I go about it.
That's awesome. Now, obviously, this is an interesting time around the globe, right? I mean, as you've said,
The
there
most
has been
interesting,
some
yeah, yeah,
shifts and
yeah.
different things. How do you feel about, in terms of, you've got your songs, you've got your Twitter community, you obviously have a fan base where people are really dedicated to that authentic person that you're always sharing in your music. What would you say to maybe an artist who's going through a rough time at the moment with mental health, and they're facing, or even just one of our listeners out there that is struggling with the blues? Is there something that you have found to be kind of your foundation in times of struggle that you could perhaps share with us this evening?
Yeah, I mean, if you do listen to my song "Diamonds in the Dust," it's really about looking within, and there is something special and unique inside of all of us. A lot of times, though, we there's so much noise on the outside. There's so much noise on the fringes, and there's so much comparison on the outside. So we're always looking on the outside. Oh well, here's how I stack up to this person, and it's truly, you never really get that right anyway. It's all perception, right? So, my opinion is that you really need to quiet all that stuff down outside of you and really look within to what fulfills you and what lifts you up. And you start feeding your soul with those things. And that's really what makes you happy, and really what you find your purpose in, you know? And so at least that's how it is for me. And, I think times too, like, you can look outside and confide in people that you trust and people that have always been around for you, but some people don't always have that. So, that's my advice would be, like, just don't compare yourself to anybody. This is your own journey. You're unique, you're special, you're a masterpiece. It's a miracle that you're here anyway for all of us. And so just be grateful, be grateful that you're breathing, that you're alive, and you get a chance to mix it up in this crazy world.
I love that. That's beautiful advice and really well said. And I know it's come from the heart, just like all of the music that you write, which is incredible. Now that brings me to the most exciting part. We're about to play one of your songs, but I'd love for our listeners to get a chance to follow you on social media and, of course, purchase your music. So if you could just tell us how we could do that, that would be amazing.
Sure, yeah. I'm very active on Instagram and very active on Twitter. You can just go Rywolf Music. Rywolf Music is my call for both of those platforms. Also, rywolfmusic.com. All of my links are there. I'm on all the streaming platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Pandora. I'm now on Pandora. That's one that's really big for me. And actually, you can actually buy my music at Bandcamp, which is something I recently got onto. But man, there's such a great supportive community for Bandcamp, and so now I'm on Bandcamp, and you can just search Rywolf on there and check out my catalog. And sometimes I do early releases on Bandcamp as well, just for the people that are following. It's just because I feel like it's special for those people that are actually supporting me financially.
That's awesome. Well, again, folks, you have heard Rye Wolf right here on Heart of Indie Radio. Be sure to DM us both on Twitter and on Instagram at Heart of Indie, and let us know what you thought of tonight's interview with this awesome, awesome artist. And be sure to follow him and purchase his music. He's going places. So we can say, you know what? He was on our show one day, one time.
I
So
appreciate that.
thank you so much, Rye, for your time. And
You
we
bet.
wish you the very, very best.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right, folks, we're going to get back to the music right here on Heart of Indie Radio.